Okay, and I will say welcome to everyone who are interested to listen to what Gapwaves has to announce now in the Q2 report 2021. First, Philip, we need some access, so thank you. As you know, we normally start, and I think it's very important to still give some background about the company, because I know there are many new shareholders coming into the company from time to time. There is absolutely of interest to see where is the history of the company as well. But Gapwaves as a company is really working with antennas, and that's one of the things we have been doing all the time. And it's very much based on a patent and an invention made by Per-Simon Kildal some years ago. He made that all more than 10 years ago, so it's quite old, but it has not been really so interesting for the market until now, the last years. So Per-Simon started this company, Gapwaves, 2011, and he was a professor at Chalmers here in University in Gothenburg. To make the company financially strong, to be able to grow, we started with an introduction to the listed to the market Nasdaq 2016. At that time on the level of 5.95 per share. And then since then we have been growing the company successively, and that has been very successful as well. Today we have like 8,000 plus shareholders, and there is in the market cap in the company just below 2 million euros or 180 million euros today. In this such company, as a technology company, of course, we are very keen to have IP rights, and therefore we also have a number of patents to really secure the best way to not have any infringement on what our invention can make for the customers. And this is something we are investing in all the time, even today, of course. And we are specialized in two areas. Today I will say that the most growing part is really the automotive radar side, but we are also in the telecom side that we from the beginning started more. I will get back to why we are more in the automotive during this presentation. And today in our office just now south of Liseberg here in Gothenburg, we do have a quite big office with also facilities for production, etc. And there are plus 30 employees working here at the moment. Some word about this frequency discussion, or the reason why antennas in these areas are so interesting. This is a graph showing a little bit the number of different frequencies used for telecom, not at least. Very much is on the frequencies around 2 gigahertz when we talk about telecom or access systems for telephones, etc. And what has happened since some years is that the 5G was entering into the market because we needed to go up in frequencies. That was one of the reasons they talked about 5G. Now there has been more availability on frequencies very close to free. We call it mid-band, up to 10 gigahertz. And not been jumping up so quickly to 28 gigahertz. That we were, and our technology really makes sense for the customers a lot more. But at the other hand, automotive industry has one global standard on 77 gigahertz for radars. And in this area, our technique is very relevant because our technique is working better and better when we come to higher frequencies. So going up in frequencies, which happens all the time, is very, very good for Gapwaves development. And automotive is driving very much today. About the technology as such, I can just say that waveguide has been on the market for many years, but not been able to produce in high volumes because it has been very costly to do that. These technology, we are using pins, and these pins makes what we call an AMC, stands for artificial magnetic conductor, which could prevent leakage, because making a waveguide is really to make a metallic tube to drive your wave in a certain way with no leakage. This is very important if you build antennas, for example. And this structure, which was really the invention of Per-Simon, has been now used in many different cases, and we see that it will grow even more. So it will most probably be a global standard for many of these kind of what we call waveguide solutions for antennas. Because now we can produce them in high volume, also to a good price, etc. And there will be no losses. That's important to say. That's if you go the other way with what we call a classical antenna, you have problems with the losses. So this is the reason why we need the waveguide solutions. Today we have launched some products. We are, as you know, quite heavy into the automotive radar industry. But we also have customers in new verticals, we call them, both in the area of, for example, last mile delivery products. They should be very autonomous, so it's an important thing that they can see, look, etc. without having any even cameras. They can just go with radar sometimes. And new verticals is also in the area of what we call traffic management, which is also a growing area, driven by this smart city development going on Earth. And of course we are also in 5G. But the tempo in 5G for us has not been the same as we before from the beginning. That can I clearly say, because that's not happening so quick, going up to frequencies like 28 or even higher in that area for access systems. Some word from a customer in the area of automotive radar. Many of them today, we call them tier ones. They are typically the suppliers into the automotive industry. They are testing, many of them, I would say almost all, have tested our technique today and see that there is a dramatic shift in performance, but also when they understand that they really can use this technology in high volume production to a lower cost. It really makes sense to go into what we have in our hand. So for the 77, 79, it's very essential to have better performance for this kind of radars. It will be a very important part in that mega trend we see with autonomous driving coming up on Earth as well. So we know this is very important for the customers as such. This map has been shown before with the number of customers. We have two sides here, both the telecom and also the automotive side. In the middle we have customers who have established some kind of relation with us which we can talk about. Some of them are named, some are undisclosed because they don't want us to tell the names yet. But for me, this map starts to be quite crowded, so we need to see how we can handle it over time, because there are more and more interest for our technique, that's for sure. And the big ones we work with today, like Hella, ZF, Veoneer, etc., are companies which really have an interest to go the full way for production of radar system. But you also have Smart Micro and other companies in the area of last mile delivery, like Under, who really wants to also go the full way. And we are producing low volume series today with products to them as well, which is of course very important step for us to go the full way for full production. Some commercial breakthroughs which could be meant just before summer. We went into a very interesting agreement with Hella. It was a license agreement, and that will give us over time royalty on every single radar delivered from Hella. And that is very much the same as you can see in the Veoneer case, as we made some years ago. It was 2099 in the summer. But Hella has also invested in the company with a right issue, 182.3 million SEK. So we do have quite a lot of money in our pocket at the moment to really develop the company, what we need now for going the full, if I say, industrialization phase, which we are into at the moment. But there are more customers. I will get back a little bit to Hella and say some more words about them on the next slide. But here, the automotive tier ones, we have a number of them today who are doing prototypes, testing what they can do with our technique. And most of them are really very impressed of what we can deliver. We see that quite often. I'm also CC'd on some mails at the time, and I can be very proud of the people working in this company, I will say. So we see that we are doing very well, and that's because we have a good technique, but we also have very good engineers working here today. Another area is ship suppliers. Some are named here. Infineon, we have made some prototypes for, but not at least we have Under, which is a big one today, doing a very competent ship for radar solutions, and they are keen to grow quickly. That's an American company. Also working into the automotive industry with imaging radar, but not also only that, they are also into last mile delivery products and other things, because that's the way for them to grow their business and become a big company. Other radar verticals I mentioned before, it's not only Under, it's also this company, Smart Micro. And these cases are also coming, and they are maybe going a little bit quicker than the automotive classic way, because they don't need to have all these kind of testing, etc., before they can put things in a car. Making things on the street could be a little bit easier, and not having the same kind of if I say testing time to really verify that everything works over 10 to 15 years. They are easier to change things when they are not in the big volumes as cars. On the 5G telecom, today we see our products in testing or evaluation in Japan, in Korea, and also in US. And all these customers we do work with there, they are really in evaluation phases, and we will see our technique when it's needed, I will say. It's not so much needed as we said before. The access system for telecom still are very much on quite low frequencies, not on 28 as we are expecting will come the coming years. Because then you have more bandwidth, which is important for the performance over time. And I also want to tell you about our production. This week I think we are up in 12,000 units produced here. That means we are assembling the antenna as such. This is our imaging radar antennas for Under. And we also do the end-of-line testing before every piece are leaving our office here. This could be good to know that every piece is really a single number in also the database. So you can go back and you can follow up that each single antenna has been tested, and we can go back and see that even 20 years from now as well. Because this is important in the full production line, that we can not only test them but also verify them and see that this is the protocol for each and every antenna. So they are numbered from the beginning, I can tell you. Typically also that is important and very much a need in the automotive industry. Say some word more about Hella I've talked about. Yeah, the license and also a development agreement we do have with them. We will continue to do some development of different products. I can't say too much about the product lines in Hella because it's disclosed. But we are in two different generations at the moment in their development phases, which we will see on the market for one. We know for sure one big automotive German global company in the automotive industry will have our antennas and Hella's radars from 2024 in the summer. But there are a number of more customers at Hella side which will be using the same equipment over time. So we see a dramatic growth in this area over time, of course. There is a time limit for the exclusivity we have given to Hella. The time limit is until summer 2026, and it's specifically for corner radars and also side radars, which they are very keen to be the global leader of, I would say. What is it in this for us then? Yeah, of course, we with Hella have a deeper insight because we are more as a partner. This customer is really into what we are doing, and we can also learn quite a lot of what is the need from each and every customer over time. So I see this really as a strength for Gapwaves to know more, because as more we can know, we can make our antennas and our systems even better for the customer. So this is important. And it's also confirmed that the value of the technology is quite important. Hella wouldn't make any deal with us on this kind of million crowns into the company if they don't really thought it was a good idea. And it could also be important for us to tell you that we are now secured for financing for a quite long time. And there is also, as I said, real customers buying things from Hella who could use this in their cars very quickly. 2024 is not too far away, I will say. That will happen. Yeah, and also for us, we have now been mentioned quite a lot in different press over the world. This is also important when we should grow Gapwaves as a company and Gapwaves brand as such, because this summer I have been approached from different companies which we have never met before. It's directly from OEMs, etc. But it's also new customers coming in when they have seen the headlines of Gapwaves, what we are doing, what we are coming from, and what we can deliver to them. So this is important for the long run of Gapwaves, of course. So the focus this year, I have told this before, but it's really to go into and accelerate sales, to take even more customers the full way in some kind of contractual situation, meaning that we will deliver antennas or license into their development over time. We talk normally 15 years agreement in these cases. We will grow more into new verticals. This happens, I will say, almost every day that we are approached or discuss new things here. We also will continue the travel with what we can see in the telecom area. Our technique is very interesting and important when we are in higher frequencies. So far, the 5G is not really up there too much. It is more on lower frequency, on the what we call a low band or mid-band level. Anyway, we still are very convinced that this technology could be a standard for waveguide antennas over time. Absolutely. So I will now end up with the last slide, and that's just giving you an idea of why you should invest in Gapwaves. Why do you do that? Yeah, there is a challenge going for millimeter waves. Millimeter waves means over 28 gigahertz. When you come up there is a very difficulties to do this by PCB-based antennas, because they are very lossy when you go up in frequencies. So that's the reason and the behind why you should be a part of our company. As we see it, looking to the market, there is a huge interest from quite extensive or global dominating customers. This is for me first time in life I can see this happen, and I'm very proud to say that and tell you that about our company and our position on the market today. We wouldn't be on that list if we were not interesting, I can tell you. We are in a mega trend side. The market for autonomous vehicle is a typical mega trend. We know that from both the customers but also what's happening. Over time, you will not be needed as a driver in the car. You can sit in the car and you can do what you want with your telephone or run your emails, but you can also take a drink because the car will take you where you want, like your own cab. So that's my view of the next generation of mega trends in the autonomous driving vehicles. We know that we have a good patent portfolio. That's something we also grow over time, so really we can protect ourselves. And we know also that now we have proven everything, so we know that the technique can be in high volume production and deliver on that, on what our customers are expecting. So there I want to end up, and I know there are questions, so please, Mats.
Yeah. Thank you, Lars-Inge, for a very interesting presentation. is obviously it's a lot going on here in Gothenburg. I think we start off with Hella, because that's of course obviously it's a very big thing for your company.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to representation in the board and the strategic part of your cooperation, what are their plans for are they planning to engage themselves in Gapwaves in different ways or?
So far we are very much into technical development together. We will have meetings with them the coming weeks now to discuss a little bit more about the strategic part, how to cooperate, etc. So you will see.
Yeah.
I can't tell you more today.
Yeah. Yeah. At the moment, the engineers are working together, right?
Yeah, and also the management. I can tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. We will follow that. I think when it comes to Hella, some things are happening in Germany with the ownership of Hella. Is that affecting your agreement in any way, or could you please elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, I can tell you. It's a French company called Faurecia. They are buying Hella. Yeah. And Hella is today mostly owned 60% of a family in Germany. But Hella is also looking for being a part of a bigger organization. And together these two ones, Faurecia, which also is very big in the automotive industry and interiors quite a lot. And they also work with they have sites in Japan, etc., which also is of interest for Hella. But these two companies together is a very good fit going up and be in the bigger size, because the biggest companies in the area of tier ones for automotive is Bosch, companies in the area of, you will find ZF, you will find Mina, and now on place number 7, I think they will be, or 6, you will see Hella together with Faurecia, and below them you will see Continental. So they go up and become a very big player, and this is also things we see. You have seen it also with Veoneer as a part of maybe Magna, or now they also have a bid from Qualcomm. Yeah. So there are things going on this market as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of consolidation, I think, in the market, but it doesn't affect your business agreement with Hella. You think you will get a even stronger partner, right?
What we have seen from the presentation from our Hella people is that in their internal things they show one of the most important, I think it's like bullet number 2, is really to become a major player in the field of ADAS system globally. And that's the reason I see this very nice. Yes. It's exactly what we want to happen here.
Yeah, it's a positive development, right? Yeah. When we talk about when you follow Gapwaves as a company, you send out press releases and you make agreements continuously, I think, and you ink different agreements with tier 1, tier 2. Could you elaborate a little bit about this market? How many players are you actually addressing when it comes to these different?
Yeah, today we you know that we have an agreement with 2 of the big ones. It's Veoneer and it's also Hella. We have on the list working together with the tier ones. I mentioned the names just like Bosch. I mentioned Denso, I mentioned Continental, etc. Magna. All of them knows us quite well, I would say.
Yeah, okay, so it's not a very, you know each other.
Some of them, they are some of the names. So looking at the customer list of Gapwaves, if I go on the automotive side, it's impressive.
Yeah, you presented it earlier. When it comes to the exclusivity of this agreement with Hella, how has the automotive industry reacted to the exclusivity?
Yeah, we were a little bit curious, can we say? Yeah. But when we entered to the agreement and when we did make this announcement, because we didn't know that there were customers who really wanted to make this kind of corner radars, other tier ones. But now we have said to them that we can't continue that development currently. We have to wait until 2026. But at the same time, they are more eager now to do front radars and imaging radars. So we see more interest from the competitors
okay.
after this deal. So,
yes.
so it's quite nice.
So it has a positive effect on your deal flow, you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, at the moment I think what are limiting us is really that we are having too much work to deliver on. We need to be more people as well.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I will get back to that. When it comes to the consolidation of the market, I think a lot of people got a little bit surprised, at least myself, when I saw the Qualcomm interest for Veoneer. What's your view of the market when it comes to chip companies and the consolidation? Is that something you think will continue to develop, chip companies buying auto tech companies and things like that?
I'm pretty sure it will continue because as we were into, I mentioned the wording, and I've learned it from at least Hella, these kind of mega trends going for autonomous vehicles is affecting a number of companies, and not at least the chip suppliers. Qualcomm is, as you know, a very, very big supplier in the telecom industry. We know that they started an operation or cooperation together with Veoneer some half a year ago or something on the CPU, so to say, or the brain of a car, how to detect and how to really work with all the different sensors in the car. How should I manage things? How should I run the car? And this seems to be quite interesting for Qualcomm to develop around. So I can understand their interest of going into the market. We also see Under coming up with a different or quite impressive radar chipset, and they are strong in that market. They are cooperating with Magna since before.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have more. I can't mention all, but there is a number of different now newcomers coming up here we see as well.
Yeah.
And we are also approached from customers if we are not could not go for a little bit more big solution like a full sensor. That's a question coming up to us, and because we also have OEMs like big car manufacturers asking for their specific development. They want to do it themselves, you know.
Yeah,
they don't want to buy things always from Continental or from Hella. They want to go directly to buy different pieces and put together a better ADAS system. ADAS stands for automotive driver assistance solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay.
So I'm not sure what it will take us, but
course,
there will be more.
But there's a lot of interest in the market, and there's a lot of things going on, you think, and this will continue.
Just the naming of it, Megatrend, is something everyone wants to be into. That's the reason, I will say.
Yeah. When we are talking about the chip industry, of course, I mean, it's on everybody's lips. I think Toyota slashed its production now in September, and Volvo here in Gothenburg is standing still, I think, next week and part of this week. How is that affecting Gapway? Is it? I mean, it's of course. I mean, you have a long development, but is it affecting your? Because I mean, for the automotive industry, it's of course huge costs related to this.
Yeah, we hear that from most customers that there are challenges now for all the tier ones we are working with to supply their end customers like OEMs. But on these kind of projects we are into, we don't really see any effect because it's even more important to develop the future. And if we were in production fully today, we would see more problems. But we are not so close to the real deliveries for OEMs yet. So that means if this crisis will continue, we will be infected or affected of it over time.
But of course.
But at the moment, we don't really see any problems with it.
There are no bottlenecks.
No, not really.
No, very good. I also have. We got into that a little bit, but when it comes to your organization, I mean, you grow your company pretty fast, and now you have a bunch of money coming from Hella, right? And you this summer you have a new CFO. How about your team? Do you think you need to build on your team even more, or what's the status at Gapway?
Yeah, but absolutely we need to grow more customer means more projects because everyone starts in some kind of development project, and we also see that we also need to concentrate even more on this production now to really go the full way, because that will not happen if we don't work with it. So we will have more people in the company. So that's one of the reasons we also need more money, because everything is not driven any cash flow for us. We need to invest as well. That's important to tell. But we do have quite a lot of money in our cash today, and it's also a good position because then we are able to take on maybe some more parts in this development. We are in a very good spot, and having a little bit extra money now is a good thing for us.
Yes, of course, it's
and we will do our best really to develop that money for our shareholders, I promise.
And you go into a new phase, right, when you come into the industrial phase for Gapwaves, so you have investments going forward, I guess.
And we do have one important partner in Asia today doing a lot of production for us on this plastic molding, and also they do the metallization of the plastic, and they also make these sheet layers we are using. But we still have our own, so to say, assembly production here in Sweden, and also the testing. But over time, when we go into full volume, we need to go the full way also for Asia for production. And not only Asia, there will be more places. Because our customers like Hella, we know, I can say that, they want us to start production maybe in 3 different places over time. They don't need to start all at the same time, but it's important for them to really do this redundant way to production as well. So we will be people traveling and be also in the position to help them to, because this has never been done before. It's the first time.
Of course.
It's the same as going to the moon, you know. You need to do it first. Then you can copy.
Today, I think we have been talking a lot about the automotive industry. Obviously, it's a lot of things going on there. Could you tell us a little bit about what's going on in the rest of your verticals?
What we see very clearly is these traffic management solutions. They are eager to go more to deliver things for this kind of smart city solutions. It's not a radar to see how fast you're driven your car, or if you should have a ticket or not. It's not that kind of equipment. It's for really looking for conjunctions, etc., and how to handle the management of the traffic, because the way the roads you have could be more used if you understand where you can drive.
They need to collect data, right? It's
big data, absolutely, and it will be connected with Google, etc. And a number of things will happen in this area to make the infrastructure, so to say, a lot better.
Do you think that development will go in the same pace, the development as your big automotive project when it comes to volumes? It's a $1 million question maybe.
But it could be absolutely. There are many very big cities, and if you should have all conjunctions, so to say, managed by radar solutions, there will be a number of radars. And these are quite impressive, and we talk about, I call it imaging radar. It might not be the right naming of it, but it's a quite big solution for this kind of stuff then. And I see it's coming more and more. They are asking for more and more. That's one vertical. The other one talking about smaller autonomous things like robots running on streets, robots in factories, etc., in shops. There will be a number of these kind of equipment coming up. And in these cases, you can see that most tech giants are involved in the development of that, because they see a good need for this, and they will be into that. So,
and you have enough engineers to take care of that kind of interest in your different verticals, or?
We need more engineers. And good engineers are very valuable here now. And have an interesting journey if they work for us, I can promise.
Yeah,
to do some.
I understand.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you have a tech giant as a customer.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody is of course curious about which company this is. Could you tell us a little bit how that project develops and the interest from other tech giants and for your technology?
We are in direct connection with one customer, which is a tech giant, very well known. And in these cases, we make what we call an imaging radar as well, antenna, and they are very, very silent of what they should use it for.
Okay.
We could just guess, I can tell you. But it has been running now, and we are in like third project started. So we started last summer, so it's continuously going on, and they are buying quite a lot.
Okay, so it's continuously developing.
Yep.
When do you think we can see the name and the brand?
Then we also have another tech giant, I can just say that, but they ordered things from Under, so we deliver to Under and Under deliver to them.
You're so sub-supplier for
in these cases we are a tier 2 or something.
Yeah. I understand.
Yep.
And when it comes to name and the brand name, when do you think we can read about that?
As soon as we are allowed, I would say. We are trying really to push that hard because I think it's important for shareholders. Everyone should know that we are into this kind of interesting customers, and if you don't like them, you should know that as well.
Yeah, okay.
But in total, I would say it's an impressive customer list.
Yeah. And the other tier 1 and tier 2 companies that you haven't named, that it's the same, I guess. You will name them when you can. Yeah.
We will. And if you look at the list of companies we have on, I would say, tier 1s, possible tier 1s, you could just select some of them there, you will find them.
Yeah.
So they are named in my presentation, but we can't say which one it is today.
No. Okay. Very interesting. I think time flies.
Yeah.
We have a lot of questions. We're not able to answer all, I think, today, but you will come back, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for a very interesting presentation and a good Q&A. And thanks everybody who has been watching this.
And we thank you, Mats, for participating here and help us with this, because it's also important that we can give the feedback from the customers, or I mean from shareholders who are questioning as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
But there has been many, as I understood, so we can't answer them all today.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.